Wow, visuals. Yep, let's add a custom block entity renderer to our Minecraft mod. If you want to go deeper, the 26.x modding courses are linked down below. 30 plus hours covering complex block entities with fluid and energy handling, custom mobs, custom networking, and even custom biomes and dimensions. Everything you need for 26.x all in one place, linked down below in the description. Alright, we find ourselves back in IntelliJ once more. In this tutorial, we're going to be adding, indeed, block entity rendering over here. Roll your R's when you say renderer, and this is going to be for, of course, our pedestal block entity. Quite important that we have this because, well, you know, without visuals, it gets kind of boring, I'm gonna be honest, and we've seen this in the last tutorial, of course. If you haven't watched that, I highly recommend you do. Otherwise, if you have your own block entity and you want to follow along, you can, of course, also do that. For this, in the entity package, we're gonna make a new package called renderer, and right there, we're gonna have two new Java classes. The first one is the pedestal block entity renderer, and the second one is the very strange but also needed pedestal block entity render state class over here. We're going to start off with the render state because this is the class that basically will connect the block entity and the block entity renderer. Idea is this is a class that is going to be, well, I don't want to say necessarily sent from server to client, but kind of, right? This is sort of the idea that you have to keep in mind over here or think about. So the idea is that if you have any sort of data that you want from your block entity and you want to push that to the block entity renderer, that's basically where we want to go. Like, this is where it goes. So we're going to have a public level over here. This is for our net Minecraft world level, of course. I'm going to call this level. We will also have a public float, which is the rotation, and then also a final item stack render state. This is the item stack render state equal to a new item stack render state. This one, crazily enough, is so that we can render the item stack that is on the pedestal. Sounds a little bit crazy, but that's how it works. And that's actually the entirety of the render state class done. I know. Well, okay, not quite. It will also extend from the block entity render state. I mean, well, that of course also is needed. And then the class is done. There we go. And then we get to the block entity renderer. Now, this one is going to look kind of crazy because it will implement the block entity renderer right here, which needs two generic classes. The first one is the block entity. So this is the pedestal block entity, pedestal block entity render state. So this is the way that this is set up. Like I said, it looks kind of crazy. We'll hover over this to implement the create render state and the submit method. Over those are needed, and then we can take it from there. We'll make a constructor. The constructor is, of course, public pedestal block entity renderer here in this case, and it actually does take a block entity renderer dispatch. However, it's a little bit different. So block entity render dispatcher dot context. So we only take the context over here, and this takes in a block entity renderer provider dot context. Exactly right. And this is called context, and that is basically the what we need for the constructor. Now, in order to render our item, we need a private final item model resolver. This is going to be the item model resolver inside of the constructor item model resolver equal to context dot item model resolver. Okay, so far so good, nothing too crazy. In the create render state over here, it's going to be a new pedestal block entity render state. That also not too crazy over here. And for the render state, we need another method to override, and that is the extract render state method. This one is actually incredibly important because what it does is it basically, this is the method that is going to, well, you have access to the pedestal as well as your state. And here you basically populate the state. So you say state.level is equal to block entity.getLevel. We say state.rotation is equal to, this is going to look a little bit weird, but just bear with me over here, block entity.getLevel.getGameTime plus partial ticks times 0.5 f over here, and then we'll do a modulo of the entire thing, which is going to be this is a percentage sign is the modulo by 365, basically saying that we are looking at the game time, we're adding the partial ticks and then times 5ing it, or times 0.5 to determine the rotation speed. And then if you do modulo of 365, then it's basically going to be a rotation in degrees. That's the idea. And then to render the item model resolver dot update for top item, where we pass in the state item render state, then the block entity entity.get the item. This is the item that we actually want to render. We're going to do this as a fixed item display context. We'll do block entity.get level. Then we'll do a null because there's no owner and the seed of 0. That is the extract render state method. And now we just need the submit method where we actually determine how things are rendered. The way that this broadly works with rendering is the pose stack is going to get a pose pushed. And once you're done with, well, changing whatever you want, you do pose stack.pop pose over here in this case. And everything that happens between is going to happen for the specific thing that we're going to render. So for the purposes of the rendering, we want to do pose stack.translate. And we want to translate this by 0.5, by 1.15f, and by 0.5f in the z direction. I'll explain the numbers in a second. We'll also scale this down to 0.5 in each direction so that it's a little bit smaller than you might expect. And then we'll do pose stack.mul pose, which takes in a quaternion or a matrix 4fc or transformation in this case, but we are going to use a quaternion. Idea being, this is just how to rotate something. And we're going to rotate it around the axis of yp. This is the positive y-axis. So you can imagine we're basically drawing a line, right? We're making an axis that's going from the bottom to the top of the block, right? That's the axis that we're rotating around, and we'll go rotating around in the following degrees, which is state.rotation. There we go. And because the state of the rotation changes with basically each time game tick over here, that means that it's going to continuously rotate. Highly recommended, of course, if you want any, rotation changes, change the thing that we've added over here in the extract render state method. The final thing is to actually render the item, that is state.itemStackRenderer, or itemStackRenderState rather, that's submit, passing in the pose stack, passing in the submit node collector, saying state light coords is what we want. Then the overlay texture of no overlay. So this is the overlay texture dot no overlay, and finally no outline color. And that is the entire block entity renderer class done. Of course, as always, the code is available to you down below as well, so you can double check it from there. Now, having created this, we can connect the block entity renderer with our block entity by going to our client class. If you do not have this, then I highly recommend you obviously once again check the GitHub repository down below. You need the client class over here, implemented the client mod initializer, and very importantly, it needs to be added as an entry point right here in the fabric mod JSON file. When you have this, then we can do block entity renderers, very important, block entity renderers, there it is, .register mod block entities .pedestal be, and then this is the pedestal block entity renderer : new. Should be no issues, and that is going to have our block entity properly rendered, and that is basically the entire thing. So I'd say let's jump into the game and see if it renders. Oh, our fans are back in Minecraft, and now, no, that's not allowed. Well, there we go. We have already seen it. It's totally fine. There we freaking go, and we can basically add any sort of item on here. And I mean, come on, this looks so freaking cool. Of course, we can take it out, and yes, it works with, in theory, any item at all. So, be it blocks, be it even crazy blocks right here like this, that all works. And that, I mean, I would say that is pretty freaking cool over here. I mean, look at that. That is the pedestal with a block entity renderer, and yeah, in theory this should all work totally fine. So if we were to rejoin over here, you can see everything is still in there, and yes, I can still get it out. There we freaking go, and there we have it. So I mean, I would say that is pretty freaking cool. There we go. That's a block entity renderer over here added to Minecraft. Awesome. And that's gonna be it for this tutorial right here. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for all the support on Patreon and on YouTube memberships. Don't forget, if you join as a Stonebricks member on YouTube, you can get up to 14 days of early access, including this video right here. We'll add a menu to our block entity over here as well. Hope to see you there. So yeah.